Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunup. I'm Lyndall Stout. As we know, freeze damage has been the big story in Oklahoma wheat this spring. For an update, we want to visit with Jeff Edwards, our small grains extension specialist. And Jeff, give us an update on how things are since this last freeze about a week and a half ago.
Well, the last freeze certainly was not something we normally experience, to have a freeze that late in April. In southwestern Oklahoma, most of that crop was already, the freeze damage was already extensive in that part of the state. So this additional freeze injury maybe caused a little bit of additional injury, but the crop was already hit pretty hard. In central Oklahoma, we have some injury, but it's not extensive. I don't think we have many complete losses due to freeze injury. We did have a couple of hailstorms that came through, and we have fields that are complete losses due to hail injury. This last freeze, where it really hit, was in the panhandle of Oklahoma. In Cimarron County, a lot of that crop, if it was not irrigated, it was already lost due to drought. As you move into Texas and Beaver counties, we were on our way to a decent crop, even in the dryland acres, and the freeze hit those acres very hard, and the damage was extensive, and it's questionable how much wheat we're actually going to cut in the Oklahoma Panhandle this year because of the freeze.
Okay, pretty rough year for a lot of farmers out there.
It is. You name it, and we've experienced it this year with drought, freeze, hail. It's just been a really tough year all the way around.
Okay, we're about a month out from the projected start of harvest. What kind of concerns, if any, do you have about disease this year?
We have some foliar disease out there. We had quite a bit of powdery mildew early. We've had stripe rust in the state, maybe a little bit of leaf rust, but nothing has really exploded. For the past couple of years, we've had stripe rust that has just exploded in the state, and it just hasn't happened this year. So it's not going to be a major factor this year. I don't think that it will be. For growers who are planning to make a foliar fungicide application, we are nearing the end of that window. Most of our foliar fungicides are on label until growth stage 10.5, which would be 50% of the crop at flowering stage. Most of our wheat fields, at least in central Oklahoma, are completely flowered. So that takes most of our fungicides off the table. The ones that are still left on the table at that stage have a 30-day or perhaps more pre-harvest interval for application, and as you mentioned, we are pretty close to within 30 days of harvest, so that window is closing very quickly.
Okay, give us an idea of the weed picture this year. Not as bad, you say, because of a widespread drought?
It was so dry this year that even weeds had trouble emerging, so it hasn't been that bad of a year in terms of weeds. What I would encourage producers to do, if they do have weeds present, would be to go out in their fields and kind of make a weed map. We have some weeds such as cheat and rescue grass would be two examples that at the seedling stage are very difficult to distinguish. One of those, cheat, we can control very effectively. Rescue grass, we don't have any herbicides that are very effective on rescue grass. So if you go out there now when they're heading out, make a weed map and make note of what weeds you have and where they are. It will help you out this fall in making those herbicide decisions. And also, if you have some weeds such as feral rye that are very difficult to control, it will help you make decisions on how to get a handle on weeds such as that.
Okay, and one option, of course, is always crop rotation.
When we talk about things such as feral rye, really any weed that we're dealing with, crop rotation is always the most effective option. It's going to increase yields in wheat in subsequent years. It's going to take care of the weed problems. And my favorite crop rotation for most producers in Oklahoma is canola because of the way it fits into our system. Another option, if you're locked into wheat and can't go with crop rotation, we have some 2-gene Clearfield varieties out there now that will allow you to work on those feral rye problems more effectively than the 1-gene varieties would. With the 2-gene varieties, we use the same rate, same chemical, but we add a methylated seed oil into the tank. It penetrates the cuticle of the feral rye plant and gets more herbicide into the plant and is more effective at controlling feral rye. So with our 2-gene varieties, we have that option and can work a lot harder on those feral rye infestations.
Okay, and we can expect to hear more about those in the weeks and months ahead?
We can. There are several things in the works in terms of 2-gene Clearfield varieties. We have a few in the variety trial this year. You're going to see more of those in coming years.
Okay, Jeff Edwards, our small grains extension specialist, and we'll see you again soon.